Confession time. I am a fraud. I have been living a lie, pretending to be someone that I'm not really. Well, at least that's how I feel. I have been playing it safe. I have been doing the work, but, the safe work. The stuff that doesn't feel too confronting, that doesn't feel, too full on, not too scary, not too out of place. And I put myself out there, but only just enough. I've been working on, demanding greatness for, as you can see, 420 odd days. I've been doing the work internally, but in here, I feel like a fraud. I feel like an imposter. And therefore I've been playing small. I haven't been putting myself out there. I haven't been testing myself. I haven't been, authentically living it as high as I could. Because every time I try and push this, every time I try and grow it, I feel, as I said, like an imposter, like an fraud. I've got imposter syndrome. And there's a part of me that goes, who am I to be that guy? Who am I to put it out there and tell you, how to demand greatness of your life when, in my view, I haven't demanded greatness of my own life enough yet. Yeah, I'm miles ahead of where I used to be. Night and day fucking difference. But I have this vision of my life. I have this image of where my life is going and where it should be, and I'm not there yet in any aspect of it. So I feel like a fraud. I feel like this imposter. I feel like I'm not that guy. And I think from going through it, and I think from talking to men like yourself, and men like me, that part of the problem is this imposter syndrome. That, you have to leave the old you behind. You have to leave your old identity. You have to move on, and you have to actually become a new man. And that's a really, really fucking daunting thing. I was talking to a couple of clients about this today, and it's that, when you get married and you say, now and forever, and I think it's the right call, but it's a big call, because you 10 years from now is probably going to be a different person from now. And if you decide to make an actual change and step into the man you know you should be, you 6 months now is going to be a very different fucking man from now. We grow and we evolve and we become different people. Well, at least we should. At least we should progress and should get better and become better versions of ourselves. Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of life, is to continue elevating and continue growing, and at any point level up and become a better version of ourselves. It's the point of life. But so many people become stagnant. As we've discussed many times before. They die at 25, just wait to be buried till they're 75. They don't go out and chase this greatness. And your greatness will vary. Your greatness will be different. But you don't demand greatness of yourself. You don't step the fuck up and demand to be the greatest version of yourself. To demand more of yourself, not just for you, but for your wife, for your kids, for those who love and adore you, those who believe in you. And I think when you begin that journey, or if you're constantly leveling up, I think you're forever going to feel like a fraud. Because you're aspiring to this high mountain, to this big thing. You're aspiring to be a constantly better version of yourself. So you feel like a fraud because you look at who you are right here, right now, in this moment, and you aspire to be that guy, and you're living as if you're that guy. Because the only way To become that guy is to live and act as if you're already him. And it feels like fraudulent. But until you can fully step into that version of yourself, until you can fully own being that guy, well, you're in the worst situations of both. You're going to be stuck playing small. You're going to be stuck doing work but not getting anywhere from it. And you're going to feel like you're a fraud because you know who you should be. You know how far ahead you should be. You know the man that you are meant to be in this situation. And you're not being him. You're still stuck being the old version of you. You're still living out those patterns, those habits, those rituals. And of course you feel like a fucking fraud. And I was having that discussion with a friend of mine, and I was like, I cannot truly step into the next phase. I cannot push this forward the way I want to and know I should be able to until I can let go of that feeling. That, yeah, I know I'm not that guy yet, but I'm so much more than who I used to be. And as long as I keep elevating, I can keep sharing my experience, and I can keep teaching and educating and passing on the knowledge I'm learning through this experience. That I have to let go of feeling like a fraud because, well, I'm not faking it, I'm stepping into. And I think that's the big difference. That it's not fake it till you make it, it's act as if. I know who I'm becoming. I know who I'm going to be. I know the man that I am building brick by brick, step by step, choice by choice. I know who that man is. Just because I'm not fully him yet doesn't mean that I'm a fraud, that I'm an imposter. No, I'm becoming him. But I have to live as if I'm already him to be able to push into the next step, to be able to push into the new version of myself. And at the same point, I have to let go of the old version of me. That version served me well enough. It brought me to this point. It was good. He did a good job. But he's not enough to reach the next level. And I don't plan to, well, settle here. And as we discussed before, I'm blissfully dissatisfied. My life is good, but my life could be fucking incredible. There are great things in my life, but there are other areas where it could be so much better. But I'm not going to reach that by continuing the actions that brought me to this point. I'm not going to reach that by continuing to hold fast to the old version of me who's dying. I'm not going to reach that feeling like an imposter, stepping into the new version of myself. This is the one, like, I try and teach to my guys with it, that you need to start identifying as a strong, fit, and capable man. You need to identify as a disciplined, focused, mentally tough man. You need to identify as a man who does that shit. Because old you wasn't getting off the couch. Old you wasn't committing to the workout. Old you wasn't fucking following through. Old you was disgusted with the man in the mirror. That's not you anymore. The man in the mirror might not have changed enough yet. You might not be seeing the full benefits of becoming that man yet. But if you continue to do the work, if you continue to show up, if you continue to act as if you are already that guy, well, you will get there. You will become that guy. You will become that man. But you have to keep showing up. You have to keep acting as if. You have to ignore the voices in your head that are telling you that you're an imposter. That isn't you. You're not a fit guy. You're not the fit dad. You're not the guy who goes out and, works out, who is in great shape, who can do anything he wants. No, you're not that guy. You're the guy who sits on the couch and watches every fucking rugby match, every week. You're the guy who drinks with the boys and gets plastered on the weekend. Or you're the guy who just eats whatever he feels like, or sedates in front of the TV or on social media. You're that guy. No, you aren't that guy. You're becoming the man, the father, the husband that you know that you were meant to be. You're not a fraud. You're not a phony. You're not an imposter. You are that man. You're just taking the actions to make sure that you become that man. You're killing that old version of you who didn't live up to the requirements and the standards that this new man, this new version of you is setting. You don't become the guy that leads your family. You don't become the guy who leads by example. You don't become the guy you know you should be without sacrificing the guy you used to be. So you have to let go of those thoughts and feelings about the version of you. You have to let go of that and step into, well, who you know you should be. Because you can be that guy. And you will be that guy if you're willing to do the work. If you're willing to step the fuck up and let go of those, well, imposter feelings. Those feelings of inadequacy, the feelings of not being worthy. You are fucking worthy. You are capable of, and you are not only needed, but required by your family, by your children. They deserve it. It is your obligation, it is your duty, your honor, and your obligation to become that version, to stop playing small, to stop shining away from the light of the man that you know you should be. You need to lay that all to rest. You need to step into the guy that, well, you're afraid to be. And there's a little bit of good in that. There's a little bit of you should be. I have written across my roof at my gym, and it says, dream so big that your dreams scare you. They should. You becoming this guy should scare you, because it's so far past everything that you used to be. It's so far past everything that you have established as normal. But you have to become that guy. Because, well, everyone who loves and cares for you deserves that. It's not acceptable for you to continue slacking off. It's not acceptable for you to continue avoiding becoming that man because it's scary. Forget the imposter. Forget the feelings that you're not worthy. You 100% are. And you need to become that guy. So now is your moment. You know, I can feel it with you. As I said, I feel like a fraud. I feel like an imposter. I feel like I have been failing and I'm trying to be someone that I'm not. But I am that guy. I'm becoming that guy, and I need to step full force into it. Otherwise, I will never actually become that guy. I'll forever be stuck playing small, playing a game I don't like. So it's time for both of us to step the fuck up, for me to lead this movement the way I know it can, that will lead a group of men to demand greatness, and for you to step up and demand greatness of yourself, to lead your family, to lead your friends, to lead all those around you that you serve. It's time to become the greatest version of yourself. So click the link in my bio, join me in this movement, and let's together step forward, leave the imposter syndrome behind, and become the men we know we are meant to be. I can't wait to see you there.